And I don't blame you guys, you know, everyone wants to take gear nowadays because of social media.
You look fucking massive, bro, in the car. What the hell?
Welcome back to the channel. This is the Anomaly. Today I want to talk about the first time I started steroids and why. Let's start with what made me take steroids. So I was a lonely kid. I always had problems at home. I always had problems outside of home. I didn't like life. I had a lot of going on growing up. So I didn't grow up normally. That's the first thing. I'm not going to go into detail of what I went through, but it wasn't normal at all. It wasn't nice. I got to a point where I ended up punching a window and I got that ball on my arm. So it can give you a small idea of how my life was back then. I wasn't normal. I was on antidepressants. I was on sleeping pills, trying to sleep. I also tried to smoke weed while taking the sleeping pills and antidepressants to sleep because I had crazy insomnia. So because of the things that were going on in my life, I could not sleep at all. I remember spending a month, I slept like every 3 days. It was crazy. I still remember each night being fully awake. It was hell for me. And I still had to wake up the next day to go to work. But yeah, I didn't have a normal life. I've always been in I never had anything. I never had people helping me. It was always me, being alone. I spent a lot of time by myself and it got me to think. I was never sure about what I wanted with my life. I was never sure where I wanted to go, what job I wanted, if I want to continue school. I didn't like anything. I didn't like to party. I liked going out with my friends, like I had 2 friends or 3. With the way things were going, I didn't see myself having a future. I felt like everyone was better than me. Everyone always had more money, everyone always had more things. I used to compare myself non-stop to my surroundings. It was always as if everyone that I can think of was in a better position than me. I was always in I never had anything. If I lose something, I get news in my left ear that my friend got a PlayStation or something, you know. And that used to piss me off on the inside because I barely had any support or comfort in my life during that time. Everything that was happening, it drove me to think that I wasn't good enough. It made me feel like I was nothing. I look at other people and I see that they have more value than me. I felt like I had no value as a man. I still remember it quite clearly, the feeling, and it was And to change that, the first thing I did was I wanted to get jacked. I was watching some Rich Piana, I was watching like David Lade, all the OG fitness influencers, you know, and they had crazy physiques. And I used to watch them and I used to think, I want to look like that. Like the work it takes to get jacked and look a certain way is gonna make me a better man. So that's what I initially signed up for a gym for, because I was insecure and sad with myself. I wanted to get better. I wanted to upgrade my life because I didn't like where things were going. I don't want to be a loser. So I spent a few years training naturally. I did well. I grew quite a lot in a natural way. No coaches when I was natural. I was just doing everything random. I was skipping legs a lot, which was bad at the time, but then I learned later on. But yeah, the first few years, I feel like they were a waste because with my genetics, if I had a coach from the start and I did things properly from the start, I would have made crazy gains, natural. But I wasn't. I was just eating whatever I want. I used to eat a lot of ramen noodles, Indomie ramen noodles, a lot of milk. I used to drink 6 liters of milk a day to get big. And no, I did not myself. So what helped me with getting a lot of improvements in the gym was the fact I never got sick. And that showed me that I was a strong man with good genetics, you know, because I see a lot of people, they, even though they had everything that I wanted, like they had, like some people even got cars at that age somehow, and I didn't have anything at all. I had my strength, I had my health. And now you're gonna be like, that's ironic, why would he hop on gear if the only thing he had was his health? Why would he up his health? After watching Rich Piana for a while and just looking at how the life is, you know, nothing has interested me, nothing. I didn't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be anything, you know. I don't want a normal job. But I knew that the only thing that I really enjoyed was the gym. The only thing that gave me purpose was the gym. It made me feel better. Every time I went, I felt better no matter how my day was. And I just wanted to go all out on it, you know. I knew I had a very strong immune system and I was very healthy. Blood work was perfect. Everything was good, obviously because I'm young. But I had a very, very strong feeling inside of me that if I take gear, I am going to turn into a monster. That's when I kind of dialed in a bit. I had a few different jobs before I decided to hop on gear. But I did hop on gear when I was working, I think, at like a freezer job, I'm not really sure. I was 19 back at the time because I didn't continue school. And my friend convinced me. Obviously, there was a guy involved. I still talk to him to this day. He's not on gear anymore because obviously it's quite a different lifestyle. But me, I wanted it so bad. I never stopped. You know, I never stopped trying to become a bodybuilder, and I'm still trying to get to a pro level, and it's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of years, a lot of food, and a lot of consistency and drive to get there. Plan was originally to max out what I could natural, go from there, you know, get a coach, do everything serious. But my friend, like, we talked a bit, and at the time I was very depressed. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Every single day I felt like I was falling deeper into a hole. Everything was getting darker and darker. And then when the time came, I was like, I feel like I have no purpose. Like, I just want to give myself something to live for. I hopped on my first cycle at 19 years old, no coach in the first 2 weeks. But then when I realized, like, I was on the cycle, I started getting fat quickly because my diet was off. I was getting very watery, ugly, gyno was flaring up. So I was like, no, I need a coach. So I hit up the best person I knew in terms of knowledge. I didn't want to get a random coach because there's not many knowledgeable people in Malta about this stuff. You know, it's a small island in the Mediterranean Sea, so you can imagine. I found the best person I knew. He helped me out. We monitored my health very well. We always did blood work, and we got to a point where I started looking like a freak. Like, it doesn't kick immediately. You know, when you start taking steroids, you're not gonna magically turn into a monster. But after a year of gear and just doing properly, good diet, good training, and the gear involved, you're obviously gonna look quite different a year later. And I blew up. I looked crazy. When I turned 20 years old, I went viral on Instagram. Then Larry Wheels noticed me. He DM'd me on Instagram. He wanted to meet me. So because of that one decision that I made, which was risky as, because remember, I was broke, I had nothing, my parents didn't have any money, no one had anything. It was the worst idea I could have. Like, any smart, sane person wouldn't have done that. But I was crazy. Like, I'll fully admit it, I was crazy. But instead of punching windows and like losing my maybe, because I was very depressed, you know, I could have done something crazy, even crazier than punching a window, just to stay sane. And I gave myself a purpose, and I followed my gut. I did what I wanted to, because nothing else interested me. After doing it for a year consistently with a coach and good diet, good training, blood work being done, everything properly, trying to keep my health in check constantly, I made it work with all the I was going through, with all the jobs I went through to get to where I was. I worked at the bank. Then I got a message from Larry Wheels. I flew over to LA. It was my first time flying to America. And when I met Larry Wheels, I just knew this is what I had to do. I think we had pancakes, and like, we ate a few times together. I trained with Larry Wheels. Imagine you go from nobody to suddenly you're training with one of the strongest men on the planet, and he's talking to you like you're a normal person. Like, it really motivated me, and it showed me that I'm not just a random, you know, I'm not gonna be a loser. I just need to put in the work, and I need to keep going. So whatever happens, I need to keep pushing. Larry Wheels really did open my eyes. Like, I'm very thankful I met him, and I will always be thankful to him for giving me the exposure. I trained with him on his channel, and then all of Malta knew, you know, like, I'm the first Maltese guy to get to that level. It's insane what I achieved by just following my gut. So my advice to you is, because it went well for me, obviously, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone because it's very risky, it's very stupid. I just got lucky. But I worked very hard to get to where I am and to get to that point with Larry Wheels and stuff. You know, it was a very crazy journey. It's not gonna be an easy path. Just know that if you're gonna start, know what you're signing up for. It's like signing a contract. Read the contract before you sign it. Read what you're going into, so you don't f yourself over. Don't just copy me and take gear at 19 because you think you're gonna get famous, you're gonna get... It's not that easy. No, it's not that easy. I just got lucky. But it gave me purpose, and it was the only thing that interested me. I will never promote gear, and I will never tell anyone to take steroids or just go on this path. I'm just telling you what I went through. And I've been through a lot, and I feel like I deserve the little bit of reward that I got for taking steroids. But obviously it's not just steroids, you know, I learned how to train, how to eat, like, it's a whole other world. Becoming a bodybuilder is not just taking steroids. You need to be disciplined, and you need to have the consistency to hold everything together, plus your life, because bodybuilding is another job. So if you already have a job and you're having a weird life and you can barely juggle your life on its own, do not take steroids. Like, you need to have the balls to keep pushing and keep holding it, because a lot of people, they rush the decision, they take steroids at a young age, they fuck themselves over and they become fat losers with no hopes, no motivation for anything because they up their life with that one decision to take steroids. And I don't blame you guys, you know, everyone wants to take gear nowadays because of social media, but it's really not that easy. It's not that easy at all to get famous. Remember, you are one person and there's millions of people trying to do this. Play your cards right. I only did this and I only went on this path because it gave me a reason to live. I hope you learned something from this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna do more of these talks, you know, you guys enjoy when I talk about how f***ed up my life is. But yeah, I have a lot of bad experiences, which maybe we'll get into depth as we go along. But obviously I need your support to keep going with this. So use code Anomaly if you're gonna order from Young LA. I'm with Dragon Pharma as well. They provide me with the supplements. And no, not the steroids, it's not a steroid company. They do like good supplements, whey isolate, glutamine, creatine, like the good natural stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye-bye.